Welcome, friends. So, as we're recognizing more and more fully this infinite higher self, this unharmable being, and flowing as that, we'll find that we're just not as drawn to our personal agendas. The main way to tell the difference between a calling into life, a calling into the greatest good, versus a personal agenda is our attachment to outcome. When it's a personal agenda, we actually think we know why it's happening and where it's going and what benefit should happen. When it's the calling of life, there's a lot more curiosity and flow and flexibility and unattachment. So, as we find those callings where there is clearly no personal agenda, just a calling into life, we end up discovering that we don't really care about limitations of time, energy, money, um, what our network is. We just, what our intelligence and wisdom is, our skill set. We just flow in and trust that it will work. So often we think, oh, golly, that I just don't have the energy to add that other thing on. Or I just don't have the money to really do that well, or I just don't have the intelligence or the know-how, or I don't have the time, or we just I don't know who would help me with that. I don't know who would be the right person to go to with that. All these different ways that we imagine that we can't do something. But when life is calling, we go forward and we trust step by step that it will happen. So that comes out of a sense of this immensity, this abundance. What we are has unlimited energy, unlimited resources, unlimited networking, unlimited wisdom. There's just, yeah, there's no limitation. So once we start flowing and recognizing more clearly when it's life calling us versus some sort of personal agenda, it just becomes irresistible to flow, regardless of where we think we might feel limited. Now, if we're finding that, oh my gosh, I'm in an incredible amount of debt, or I'm getting sick from how much I'm overdoing, or all these kinds of things, then probably it was a personal agenda. Probably it's okay to step back, reassess. That it's a learning process, right? But the more that we feel, oh, life is inevitable, and life matters so much more than my personal comfort, my personal validation, my personal security. Once we feel that, which happens as we know our highest self, then we go forward and we do what we're called to do. And, however it works out, we're not attached. It doesn't have to have any big output. We just trust the goodness. We just trust the flow. And we're not constantly evaluating, oh, golly, how's my bank account? How's my health? How do I know what's going on? Do I have this figured out? We aren't evaluating it. The only evaluation is, what is the true calling here? What is the most life affirming? Where's the flow of the abundant energy, loving energy, whatever it feels like, the openness and availability of presence. It's calls. So the more that we just center in to this deepest flowing aliveness, the more we can't do anything else but follow it. And the more we discover the abundance of money, energy, time, wisdom, connections. Yeah, there's really plenty, plenty. So enjoy playing around with this, seeing where you're being called, where are you moving forward into the greatest contribution, connection, creativity, the life affirming, community building. It's a very enlightening process. We just drop those cares of outcome, drop those cares of insufficiency, and just take the baby steps, right? And discover, discover, discover.